so much for being here. My name is Aislinn Anaya Hall. I was born and raised in Tucson, Arizona. I am on the development team for the Bernie 2020 campaign in our Burlington office. Woo! When I was 14, I heard Senator Sanders speak for the very first time. That moment was the most inspirational moment of my life. Bernie spoke to my hopes. He spoke to the dreams of my entire family. My ancestry can be traced back to leaving slave boats of the west coast of Africa. While I am not proud of what this country did to my ancestors, I am proud of what my ancestors have done for America. My grandfather, Papa James Hall, fought for the nation that systematically oppressed our family. He joined the Air Force in the 1950s and fought in the Korean War. And when he came home, he fought tirelessly as a union representative for the copper mines in Salmonwell, Arizona. Whew. Like so many families today crossing the border, my great-grandfather, Tata Benjamin Anaya, immigrated from Mexico with his wife, Maria, to escape violence and poverty-stricken areas of Agua Prieta. He worked paycheck to paycheck his entire career, but he was proud. He was proud that his hands were the tools that built his family. Yes. My family's stories, the stories of families like all of us in this room today, are why we need President Bernie Sanders. Bernie is fighting for working people across this country like Papa Hall. Bernie is fighting for immigrants like Benjamin Anaya to ensure his family has a future and a better life. Bernie is fighting for a just healthcare system for dozens of Americans in our disabled community to have access to adequate healthcare. Bernie is fighting for an America where my little brother doesn't have to be afraid that he is going to be the next black boy shot in the streets. We deserve the country that Bernie is fighting for. And tonight, I am asking all of you to fight with us. Fight for the people who can't. I am asking you to come together as Vermonters. You know Bernie. You trust Bernie. You have seen him fight for decades. I need you to have real conversations. I need you to call voters, volunteer. And how can you do that? Well, we have phone banks 6 nights a week at our Burlington office. Yes! It is so powerful to hear from Bernie's constituents. People across the nation have you as our ambassadors to this campaign. You have the ability to change this election. And if you're not comfortable on the phones, don't worry. We have mail projects, data entry, and you can help out with our merchandising. To find all this information, you can go to map.berniesanders.com, or our teams will be passing out flyers with details at the end of this rally, or you can find it at our merch table down there. Together, we have the ability to transform this nation, to make an America that resembles all of us in fights. We can fight for people we don't know. We have to fight for people who cannot. Fight for our families. Fight for our friends. Fight. And most of all, together, we can fight for the next President of the United States, Senator Bernie Sanders! Thank you!
Please welcome to the stage, Co-Chair of Rights and Democracy, Allison Neihart.
Hello, everyone. My name is Allison Neihart, and I serve on the board of Rights and Democracy. It's an honor to be here with you tonight. Is that better? Rights and Democracy is a progressive, grassroots, people-powered organization organizing in Vermont and New Hampshire, and I'm here to share with you why our members endorsed Bernie Sanders in the Democratic presidential primary. We endorse Bernie because he shares our values. Values like putting the well-being of people above corporate profits. Values like making the investments now to fight climate change so we don't pay much, much more later on. Values like investing in public education from childcare and pre-K through college. And values like putting our foot down and saying, enough is enough. It is fundamentally unjust that the richest 0.1% of people own more wealth than 80% of their fellow Americans. Having great ideas is one thing, but being able to deliver on them is another. We know from history that in the words of Frederick Douglass, power concedes nothing without a demand. Elected leaders don't pass game-changing legislation without social movements calling for change. Bernie is the movement candidate in that he has, from day one, emphasized the need for mass political mobilization, and he has said that is what is going to change the future of the politics in this country, not a single president. Given Bernie's commitment to a political revolution, it was no surprise that after Rights and Democracy endorsed Bernie, he was endorsed by our national affiliates, the Center for Popular Democracy and People's Action, as well as other movement organizations across the country. Rights and Democracy, which we call RAD for short, was founded in 2015 on this same theory of change. That it takes people power year after year to make the kind of big, bold, long-term changes we want to see in this country. And we've been doing that movement work day in and day out here in Vermont and in our neighboring state of New Hampshire. That means working on issues that matter to our members, speaking up at the State House and in Congress, and doing the hard work necessary to create a government that works for all of us and speaks for all of us. It also means electing progressive candidates, everyday people like you and me who come out of our movement, who run for office up and down the ballot and win. From school board to select board and city council, the state legislature, lieutenant governor, governor, Congress, and yes, president. A few of those people are Rights and Democracy members right here in Vermont who have run and won. People like Burlington City Councilor Ali Dieng, who you will hear from shortly, a RAD member also endorsed by Bernie who won in 2017. State Representative Mari Cordes, a RAD member also endorsed by Bernie, who won in 2018. And as we look to the future, we anticipate more wins in November. I want to give a special shout out to Rights and Democracy member Tanya Vyhovsky, who Bernie endorsed in 2016 and who is running again to serve as a state representative right here in Essex, Vermont. Let's hear it for these awesome folks who are answering Bernie's call for a political revolution and stepping forward to serve their communities and bring the people's voice to the halls of power. Senator Sanders knows that collective, long-term work is what will change our country for the better. It's the reason his campaign motto is not me, us. And there's a reason the Rights and Democracy's motto is together we win. RAD is a membership organization for all of us, and I hope you will join us as a RAD member. You can check out our table in the back corner tonight so that together we can build a movement to win. Because when Bernie is elected president, there will still be a lot of work to do to get Congress to pass the big, bold legislation that Bernie has in mind. So let's get to work here in Vermont and all across this country and elect Bernie Sanders as the next president of the United States.
At this time, please direct your attention to the screen for a message from Representative Peter Welch.
Hello, Vermont. What an incredibly exciting day. Voters across the country, from right here in Vermont, across the country through the Deep South, Texas, ending in California, making a major step towards electing our next nominee for President of the United States. And the person I support, the person you support, the person we believe will be that nominee, Bernie Sanders, is here tonight in Vermont to watch the returns as they roll in. And what an exciting campaign Bernie's been running. Millions and millions of small contributions are powering his campaign. No super PACs, no billionaires. It's everybody who just says, I can help Bernie make a difference and we're all in this together. And you know, why is Bernie doing so well? He won in Iowa. You know, he won in New Hampshire and in Nevada. And in Nevada, that challenge, can Bernie only get progressives? No, he got moderates, he got conservatives, he got people of all races and colors, sexual orientation. He can win because, number one, people trust Bernie. He has been serving in politics from 1981 as mayor of Burlington, in Congress, and as a United States Senator, and as a candidate for president in 2016. And what we have come to see from the first day of Bernie's political career to today is that what he says is what he believes. And how is it that Bernie gets so much support, even in Vermont, in the Northeast Kingdom? It's because he's credible, he's authentic. And people can live with disagreeing with Bernie on this issue or that when they know, bottom line, he cares about everybody's well-being, not the 1%. He's in it for you, he's in it for me. And the motto of his campaign has been the motto of his career. Not me, us. And all of us are here tonight because we believe that we, each of us, must play an active role in restoring our democracy. Yes, we have to get rid of Donald Trump, the worst president in the history of our country. Yes, we have to stand to replace him in the lies that he tells and his pandering to the 1%. But we're here for even more than that. We're here because each and every one of us believes that we have a responsibility to do our level best, to make this democracy work, to make it honest, and to make this economy be there for everybody, not just the 1%. Bernie's doing it, and Bernie is being so powerful in this campaign that all the other candidates are essentially adopting many of the positions that Bernie has advocated all of his political life. So we're all proud to be here today. I wish I was with you. I'm in DC voting, and we're going to do the coronavirus vote tomorrow. But I'll tell you, you are making a huge difference in changing this country. And we are going to have a nominee. That nominee is going to be our Senator, Bernie Sanders. And we are going to surge to victory in November and replace Donald Trump with Bernie Sanders as President of the United States. Have a great evening while we watch those votes come in.
Please direct your attention to the band stage and give a warm welcome to the Mallet Brothers Band, joined by Fish's Mike Gordon and John Fishman.
How much do you want? Oh, the only answer, more, more. Maybe, I know military song. Maybe, I know Baltimore one. Maybe, I know Baltimore one. There's too much trouble in this town. There's too much trouble in this town. There's too much up. There's too much down. There's too much trouble in this town. Too much whiskey in this glass. There's too much whiskey in this glass. There's too many symbols on the overpass. And there's too much whiskey in this glass. There's too much weight upon your back. But too much weight upon your back. Best get some rest now before your heart turns black. There's been too much weight upon your back. And there's too much trouble in this town. There's too much trouble in this town. There's too much cocaine, too many clowns. And there's too much trouble in this town. Too many things on your mind. There's too many things on your mind. Been looking for the target, but it's just so ill to find. There's too many things on your mind. Too much worry in your soul. There's too much worry in your soul. 'Cause time's running out now, and the weather's getting cold. And there's too much worry in your soul. Too much trouble in this town. There's too much trouble in this town. There's too much up, and it's too far down. There's too much trouble in this town. There's too much trouble. Thank you. Hey, if we could break it down, way down for a second and have your attention, we wanted to get my daughter Tessa Gordon to help us out.
Hello. I'm supposed to say something, but I don't know what to say.
We just wanted to let the next generation get a chance for 1 second here. What does the next generation want?
We want a good president!
Ready? At the end of the day, Lord, I pray I have a life that's good. Two arms around me, heaven to ground me, and a family that always calls me home. Two wheels to get there, enough love to share, and a sweet, sweet, sweet song. At the end of the day, Lord, I pray I have a life that's good. Sometimes I'm hard on me when dreams don't come easy. I want to look back and say I did all that I could. At the end of the day, Lord, I pray I have a life that's good. Two arms around me, heaven to ground me, and a family that always calls me home. Four wheels to get there, enough love to share, and a sweet, sweet, sweet song. At the end of the day, Lord, I pray I have a life that's good. At the end of the day, Lord, I pray I have a life that's good. Tessa! Do you guys want to hear one more from her while we got her? Okay. Cool. Do you have anything to say about this song, Tessa?
No.
Well, I will say just one thing. This is a song for anyone who wonders why we got to where we are now. Well, tell me why, baby, why, baby, why, baby, why you make me cry, baby, cry, baby, cry, baby, cry. You know I can't help but love you till the day that I die. Tell me why, baby, why, baby, why, baby, why?
I got a crow, wanna pick with you, just like last time when the feathers flew. You run a while picking up your heels, leaving me at home with a handful of bills. Well, Lord, I can't live without you, you know it's true. There's no living with you, it's what I do. I'm going honky-tonk and get as cat as I can. Maybe when there I'm gonna find a better man.
Well, tell me why, baby, why, baby, why, baby, why you make me cry, baby, cry, baby, cry, baby, cry. You know I can't help but love you till the day that I die. Tell me why, baby, why, baby, why, baby, why?
I don't know what I heard say. Every little dog's gonna have his day.
Why, baby, why, baby, why, baby, why? Tessa!
So we brought along our friend Spizzy Spose, the king of Maine here, ladies and gentlemen, and he's gonna do a brand new song we wrote last week.
Wells, Maine in the house. And I'm feeling the burn. How we feeling tonight, Vermont? How's the press feeling? Still headed down the same road. And I know where it's headed, I tread it, I know better, but will I change? No. I thought I'd be coming to age, but I'm stuck in my ways, yeah, I'm my own worst enemy, and I might be the end of me if I don't find an exit from this road first. With the devil as a chauffeur. The ruins under the moon, chasing rap star archetypes. Got my lungs tired, full of black tar carbonite. In the morning with these blunts alone, drove by tons of bones in this comfort zone. Look, I can feel it's wrong in the pit of my stomach, but this loop's my Indy 500. I need to steer off this same dumb road, cause I can only be great in the great unknown. Till I can turn back. Keep on driving till the sky turns black. Get away from all these same top tracks. I'm gonna drive this thing off road. Where we going? I'm gonna drive this thing off road. I'm gonna drive this thing off I know my phone's a bottomless pit, but it's still in my grip. I've been swiping even though I told them I might quit. I've been thinking till I'm numb, I've been drinking till I'm dumb. I eroded every road, tires sinking into mud. Another morning out here on my road most traveled. Headed up to Schitt's Creek again, no paddle. With too much freedom, too much leeway. That could really Rockefeller, Beanie Siegel freeway. I think I need a recourse, need a detour, someone save me. Since I got this license, all I did was drive me crazy. With too much action on a game plan. I would tell you I'm a changed man. Need to troll, need to leave this track. I've been beating back on this beaten path. Did I stop? No. Got a little time on the clock, so hold on, we're going off road. Till I can turn back. Keep on driving till the skies turn black. Get away from all these same top tracks. I'm gonna drive this thing off road. I'm gonna drive this thing off road. I'm gonna drive this thing off champagne until I can't turn back. Keep on driving till the skies turn black. Get away from all these same time tracks. I'm gonna drive this thing off road. I'm gonna drive this thing off road. I'm gonna drive this thing off road. Make some noise for President Bernie Sanders.
I beep, lay down, brush my teeth. Look in the mirror, see the flames beneath that old toaster. But why does it gotta burn that way? I make some calls, Please help me to get the black soot off the walls. Roll the bottle, a genie blinks in, asks me what I be meaning to say. My eyes are glazed, on my porch the blaze is raging. You call me saints to crazy, come save me. Calm before the storm, and baby, the tumbleweed whacks me in the forehead. It don't faze me. It's a whirlwind, tailspin, a hailstone, and a dustbin. It's a whirlwind, a tailspin, a hailstone, and a dustbin. You better see, I was a gentleman with a gun just steady. Snuck out a card and swallowed it down in his mouth. So now things are getting a bit salty, a little too salty. A twister rush through and shoves de facto. Get out of my seat, leave the saloon, shovel out. I'm hauling face in the mud and chased by shadows. Ain't no grace when death can't save me. When we come before the storm, and baby, the tumbleweed whacks me in the forehead. It don't faze me. It's a whirlwind, a tailspin, a hailstone, and a dustbin. It's a whirlwind, a tailspin, a hailstone, and a dustbin. You got your whirlwind, a tailspin, a hailstone, and a dustbin. You got your whirlwind, a tailspin, a hailstone, and a dustbin. You got your tailspin, hailstone, and a dustbin. Ooh. It's a whirlwind, a tailspin, a hailstone, and a dustbin. Ooh. It's a whirlwind, a tailspin, a hailstone, and a dustbin. It's a whirlwind, a tailspin, a hailstone, and a dustbin. Thank you.
Once again, we are the Mallet Brothers Band. And members of Fish, we're up here with good buddies Mike and John. We're incredibly grateful to be even asked to be a part of this. But damn it, we believe in Bernie. We think this thing is real. And we think the system can be whatever we want it to be. So this one is for him.
Top when I got up the hill, doing any plans, so it seemed to work out just fine for me. Before the very first minute, and she came around, wasn't it winning? From off the ground and without a doubt, wanted to keep you and I ain't going nowhere. Tell you what I'm going to do is I'm gonna be the last man standing. Ain't nobody ever gonna fill my shoes. And I'm gonna be the last man standing. For the first time I got something to lose. And I'm gonna be the last man standing. Gotta do what I got to do. And I'm gonna be the last man standing. I ain't never letting go. Spinning and you need me some more. We'll be the work, baby. We'll be the work, baby. We'll be the work, baby. I'll show you. I'll be the last man standing. Ain't nobody ever gonna fill my shoes. I'm gonna be the last man standing. For the first time I get something to lose. I'm gonna be the last man standing. Gotta do what I got to do. I'm gonna be the last man standing. I ain't never letting go.
This next song, we feel like this is a song of celebration, so we're gonna go ahead and preemptively celebrate.
Ring them bells, ye heathens from the city that dreams. Ring them bells from sanctuaries, cross the valleys and the streams. Because the deep and the wide, and the world's on its side. Its time is running backwards, and so is the bride. Ring them bells, St. Peter, where the foliage blows. Ring them bells with iron hands so the people will know. It's rush hour now for the breath and the power. The sun's going down on the sacred cow. Sun. Ringing bells on the world will know that we have won. 'Cause the shepherd is asleep and willows weep, and the mountains filled with lost sheep. Yeah, ring them bells for the blind and the deaf. Ring them bells for all us who are left. Ring them bells for the chosen few who will judge the many when the day is soon. You ring them bells for the time that flies, for the child that cries when our innocence dies.
Ring the bells of St. Catherine from the top of the room. Ring forth flowers that bloom. Oh, the lines are long and the fighting is strong, and they're breaking down the distance between the right and the wrong.
We got time?
out my name. I've seen so many places, they all looking the same. Yeah, the truck smells like ropes and the coffee stains and that yellow light about to drive me insane. I'm headed home in another 3 days. I spent a little time, damn, I wish I could stay. Yeah, somebody please take this curse away. Gonna wander in the ground out laying down. Chasing after the sun, I'll probably never catch up. And the further I go, the more I feel it in my guts. And mama's in Ohio, but my head's still stuck in a big Lord blues ringing home if I would run out of luck. Get home in another 3 days. I spent a little time, damn, I wish I could stay. Yeah, somebody please take this curse away. Don't want to double in the ground I lay down. I spend time, never wish I could stay. Shut you. Somebody please take this curse away. Gonna wander in the ground I lay down. I lay down. Let that come on ground. Oh man. Now I'm headed home.
T for Texas.
Okay, we have time for one more song, I think. Right? This is a song about, you know how there's some people who say things, and then there are other people who take action. This is a song about the latter, which I'm feeling today. Stay home, stare out the floor. Come on now, let's go. Whoa. Stomp on the hippo, circle and crow. Come on now, let's go. Whoa. Pulling your chair seat and yell. Let's go. Land on a windshield, tell us. Let's go. Don't wear out your welcome. Let's go. Move it, you know you can't help it. Let's go. Whoa. Time to blow. Let's go. You got a vigilante mob in tow. Let's go. You're catching up faster than you know. Let's go. You're running for your life, it's your show. Let's go. Booze you at the fire loud, yo. Let's go. Got booze just a little more slow. Let's go. What the hell you doing there, bro? Let's go. It's time to go. Are you guys ready for Bernie? Are you feeling the burn? Sing it with us one time for Bernie. Here we go. Whoa. Thank you so much. How about the Mallet Brothers? Let's hear it for Testigor. Let's hear it for Spoke. Get ready for Bernie.
everybody thought it was a fluke.
Bernie won the mayoral race by 10 votes.
Running against a Democratic old guard that had run the city for a decade.
He faced a board of aldermen who was completely dedicated to opposing everything he wanted to do. They didn't even want to let him hire the person he wanted to hire as his secretary.
And there was just an outcry from the population saying, hey, this guy was elected mayor, let him be mayor.
Public saw that this was a guy that not only had good ideas, but was willing to do whatever he could to try to implement them to better the lives of the average person in Burlington.
One of his campaign slogans was, "The waterfront is not for sale."
You know, when Bernie was elected, the shores of Lake Champlain were a wasteland.
What Bernie, more than anything, wanted to make sure is that it was a waterfront that was open to all people, that it wasn't an enclave for the wealthy.
Bernie led the effort to really transform the city and did it successfully, and it was by mobilizing lots of people.
He gave people a reason to vote who hadn't been voting.
We were able to get a large amount of housing to be permanently affordable for people of modest means.
He stood up to the developers of Northgate and said, "Not over my dead body am I going to allow the displacement of 336 low-income families. If they don't have decent, safe, and affordable housing, they don't have a foundation from which to build their lives, the lives of their families."
Then he'd pop up his head at the appropriate moment and tell them, "I know you're going to do the right thing. This is about the residents at Northgate." And they were like, they never got spoken to like that. But people are realizing now that all over the country, working people can't afford a home.
What can we do to bring the government to a place that helps people here?
Looking at what the needs of the community are and find ways to meet those needs locally. Locally owned companies would hire local people. They would invest their profits locally. They would serve on boards of nonprofits.
Look for us on top of every time.
Business thrived, unemployment was very low. People were happy, people were doing good.
The city of Burlington went from being a very ordinary to being really the vibrant city that it is today.
The idea is we were starting on a path to try and transform the entire country.
Real change is made by real people. Power is going to see nothing without a struggle.
I don't think this revolution is going to happen overnight. But I do think it's important that in Burlington, Vermont, and in cities and towns all over this country, workers and people who are interested in true democracy begin talking about these ideas. That maybe in Burlington, Vermont, we will strike a little bit of a spark that might spread around the country.
Vermont, please welcome to the stage Burlington City Councilor Ali Deng.
How you all doing tonight? Are you cold? Why? Because you feel the burn. Are we cold? No. Because we feel the burn. Are we cold? No. Because we feel the burn. Are we cold? Because we feel? Yeah. Are we cold? Because we feel? Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen, for being here tonight. My name is Ali Deng. I am one of the Burlington City Councilors, and I'm happy to share that I just won my re-election tonight. "13 years ago, I came to America to join my wife. With only a suitcase, broken English, and empty pockets. I was fortunate enough to live in Burlington, Vermont. Yes, where the air is pure where we take care of each other. Yes, where we venerate the environment. Much of what made Burlington and Vermont as great as it is, it's because of the legacy of former Mayor Bernie Sanders. Back then, Bernie understood that the American dream needs to be protected for everyone, not just the select few. Bernie fought for affordable housing. Bernie Sanders created the neighborhood planning assemblies. Bernie Sanders created the Office of Development Economic for the city of Burlington. Bernie worked tirelessly to make sure that everyone in Vermont can succeed and can attain the American dream. To me, Bernie is almost like a prophet. He fought for decades for justice, social justice, economic justice, environmental justice. His message for healthcare did not start in 2016. This message is who he is, who he will be, and who he will continue to be as the 46th President of the United States of America. Four years later, brothers and sisters, here we are again with Bernie, the courageous Bernie. With his flame of hope that kept us all alive. For 4 years of confusion, 4 years of embarrassments, 4 years of division, 4 years of sexism, 4 years of racism, and all the isms that we endured, all the isms that we suffered from, that prevent people like us to strive for the American dream. Bernie's campaign is about inclusion. Bernie's campaign is a multi-generational, multiracial coalition of the working people. Bernie's campaign is about the dignity of human being, the dignity of mankind. It is about humility. It is about love. And also, brothers and sisters, Bernie speaks truth to power. I don't know if you have been paying attention lately. Numbers don't lie. Science doesn't lie. Donations averaging less than $20 are skyrocketing. Donations, $10, $5 are skyrocketing from all around the world. Polls from reputable agencies are continuing to show that only Bernie Sanders can beat Donald Trump. My brothers and sisters, it is time to join the movement. The movement that will strengthen our social security. The movement that will guarantee health care for every citizen. The movement that calls to raise the minimum wage. The movement for paid family leave. The movement of Bernie Sanders that will truly drain the swamp of Trump in DC. That movement that will bring jobs to our people, peace and stability to the international community. and most importantly, sustainability to our planet. That's Bernie Sanders. Like the next president of the United States said it best, it's not me, it's not you, it's not him, it's all of us. All of us. To finish, brothers and sisters, what happens next is up to all of us. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Please welcome to the stage Vermont's Attorney General, T.J. Donovan.
How we doing, Vermont? Vermont sent a message tonight to the rest of the country. We spoke loudly and clearly. We want change. We've had enough of Donald Trump. And Vermonters know best that Bernie Sanders is the best candidate to beat Donald Trump in November. Vermonters know that Bernie, as our next president of these United States, will restore our democracy and take our country back. It is time to unite behind Senator Sanders. And as somebody who grew up in Burlington when Bernie was mayor, I am not surprised that Bernie's message is resonating with millions of Americans tonight. He has a long history of advocating for fairness, for justice, compassion, and common sense. All qualities our country desperately needs right now. That's why we need Bernie. And let me tell you this, he's a rarity in politics. He, unlike anybody else in politics, has been absolutely consistent in his values for 40 years. He won't change. He'll change our country for the better. He has been absolutely unrelenting in his pursuit for a more fair and just world. Whether as mayor, as U.S. congressman, or as United States Senator, Bernie Sanders has fought for all people. He has fought for our environment. He has fought against inequality and injustice wherever it is. He will fight for us. He will fight to restore our democracy. And in November, he will win. And because it's election night, let's talk a little bit of politics. As a proud member of the Democratic Party, as somebody who has run down ballot races like state's attorney, like attorney general, let me tell you this, nobody gets out the vote like Bernie Sanders. Bernie's grassroots campaign engages and excites people because it's just that. It's about people. And when people feel heard and respected, they vote. This is common sense. This is Bernie's campaign. This is what's going to win the presidency in November. Democrats and Americans and everybody, this is our time to come together, to unite behind Bernie Sanders. This is the time, as the poet wrote, that justice can rise up and hope and history can rhyme. This is our time to elect Bernie Sanders as our next president and change our country, take it back, and move this country forward. Thank you. Let's win in November.
Please welcome to the stage Vermont State Treasurer Beth Pierce.
I gotta move that down a little bit. They're all taller than me. There we go. So thank you very much. I'm your Vermont State Treasurer, and I'm proud to support my Senator, Barry Sanders, for President. As a treasurer, I care about the bottom line and work toward financial and economic prosperity. But that bottom line does not belong to a select few, but it belongs to everybody in Vermont. Bernie understands the bottom line, will bring that knowledge and commitment to the rest of the country, and will work to make sure that that bottom line is shared by each and every one of us. My office works to make sure that everybody in Vermont has an opportunity for a lifetime of financial well-being. You want that for yourself, you want that for your family, you want that for neighbors, I want that for everybody in Vermont. Bernie Sanders wants that for all of America. Bernie Sanders will provide the opportunity for a lifetime of financial well-being for every single person in the United States. He will make sure that every person has the right to economic justice, social justice, health care, a decent job and livable wage, financial security and retirement, access to education, housing, and a clean environment. Bernie Sanders will work to address the issues of climate change. Bernie will work to put an end to discrimination. Bernie will put an end to the vitriol, hate, and anger that has undermined our future. Bernie Sanders has a vision of a fair and equitable America, proud in its heritage, able to address its challenges, and willing to work for justice and prosperity for all. To quote Senator Sanders, if there was ever a moment when we needed a new vision to bring our people together in the fight for justice, decency, and human dignity, this is that time. I believe in that vision, and I believe in Bernie Sanders' ability as a leader to attain that vision. Now, I know that everyone in this audience has worked really hard volunteering your time here in Vermont and across America. Give yourself a hand for that work. Thank you for that good work, but we're not done yet. There are more state primaries, a convention, and a general election ahead. Bernie needs each and one of us to commit, as he has, to that effort to achieve that vision. Let's show the rest of the country that we share in that vision. We want justice, decency, and human dignity. Let's work so that President Bernie Sanders will be there to lead us in that vision. Let's finish the work and elect Bernie as the next President of the United States. Thank you. Let's get it done.
From Vermont, please welcome to the stage our Lieutenant Governor, David Zuckerman.
Wow! Go Vermont!
It is amazing to see and hear so many incredible supporters for Bernie Sanders, our next president. I know Bernie's an amazing inspiration for so many people and for all of you to get involved. I'm going to tell you my story. I was a cynical college student. Who here is a cynical college student about politics? I was you back in 1992, active on social justice issues and thought the political system wasn't for me. And there at UVM, I saw Bernie Sanders speak, someone who took no corporate contributions. Someone who said exactly what he believes in: universal health care, free public college and trade school, the climate crisis, affordable housing, criminal justice reform, and so much more. So I volunteered for him, just as millions are doing today. You are amazing. He inspires people, as you know, who otherwise have given up on the system. That is what bringing people together is all about. He inspires people as to what democracy can be. Is this democracy right here? From that moment, over 27 years ago, he inspired me to run for office, just as he has mentored and inspired hundreds and thousands of others, and he's helped many win, including me. And I want to just express my appreciation to everybody here who helped me become a legislator for 14 years in the House, 4 years in the Senate, and the last 4 years as your lieutenant governor. Now I gotta say, I hope that you'll help me to be Vermont's next governor in this state. But it's not just me. It's TJ and Beth and a number of representatives and senators over here that you also have to help elect, and other new fresh faces, so that we can help Bernie when he's president, help us in Vermont lead the way on universal health care, rebuilding our rural economy and our communities, supporting our public schools and our teachers, and we have to put Vermont back in the lead on tackling our climate crisis while creating good-paying jobs all across the state. Now, most people in this room are from Vermont, but I got to speak to a few folks who aren't from Vermont at this moment. It is critically important for this country to realize that Bernie does better in rural and conservative areas than any Democrat on the ballot. That's why he can win all across this country. It's for all those reasons that the day he announced, I jumped in and endorsed him as the first statewide official in the country to endorse Bernie Sanders. And like many of you in this room, I went to New Hampshire. We've been making phone calls. Has anybody here gone to New Hampshire, made phone calls, or contributed to Bernie? Raise your hand if you have. Now, we have to thank people all across the country who have been inspired just as we have. We know that this movement is transforming our democracy from one that primarily rewards the establishment to a democracy that rewards everyone for their hard work and creates opportunities for everyone, no matter where they come from or the situation they were born into. Everyone deserves a chance. But our work is not done. Tonight is the first in many more nights and many more days when we have to help all across the country. The election is in November, and the most important election in our lifetime. So I want to ask you, after tonight, will you keep fighting for health care for all? Will you keep fighting for our planet? Will you keep fighting for our children? Will you keep fighting for our families? Will you keep fighting for your neighbor? Will you keep fighting for all of us? Will you keep fighting for Bernie? Will you keep fighting for Bernie? If yes, which it is clearly yes, I will continue fighting with you for Bernie tonight until we succeed in reclaiming our democracy and get Trump out of office and put Bernie as the next president of the United States of America. Thank you.
live in Essex, Junction. Essex. I can hear you. I didn't know. No? It was two members of the band Fish and the Mallet Brothers from Portland, Maine, and they sang also with Ghost and Mallet Brothers. That back in 46, they have played that stage in Africa. It'll take longer than we have before that. But it did out. So far, the senator comes out too. That'll all change.
Hello, everybody! Hey, everyone, we are having a good night, and it's only going to get better. Senator Sanders is going to speak to you all in roughly 30 minutes. We're waiting for a couple more results to come in, and then he'll be out here, but I wanted to say a few words, and then we'll have a special guest say a few words. So hang with me for a moment. I want to thank you for making history. Together, we are building a movement that is making history. You are a part of an unprecedented grassroots movement that has had more individual volunteers and contributions than any campaign in presidential history. I want to thank the staff, our wonderful staff. I want to thank our volunteers and all of our supporters who have put in so many efforts. The numbers of dials that we have made, the numbers of texts that we have made, the numbers of door knocks we have made are in the tens of millions. And there is no other campaign that matches it. So thank you all for all of your hard work and efforts that you put into this campaign. Vermont, you know Bernie Sanders well. You know a few things about him that I have come to know. over the course of this campaign. One is a vision for this country that stands unique. It stands apart from all others. It is this desire in him to fight for those who cannot fight for themselves, a desire to fight for those who need the government to give them support, to provide voice to the voiceless. It has been the mission of his life. But more than policy, the things that you know about Bernie Sanders that I feel others do not, is we're talking about an individual who has incredible integrity. When you think about the fact that he has for his life waged grassroots campaigns that do not rely on the powerful and the wealthy to fund them, why does he do that? It's because he believes in a mission to fight for the working class, and he fights it with integrity. He has never compromised, he will never compromise, and that's why he deserves to be our next president of the United States. All right, folks, I want to introduce to you somebody who has been his partner in the cockpit for his entire life, someone who has been traveling the country. And by the way, where she has traveled, we have been doing very well tonight. Someone who is not only one of the top closest advisors to this campaign, close advisor to me, someone who has given us a great deal of support and confidence, gives us on our worst days a sense of optimism that we all need, and somebody who is going to be a wonderful First Lady of the United States, Jane Sanders.
To be here in Vermont. Thank you so much. Do you know what today is? It's Super Tuesday, but it's also the anniversary of the first mayoral win when Bernie won in 1981 on March 3rd. So we thought that was a good omen for this night, and neither of us even considered being anywhere else but here tonight. So I want to begin just by saying thank you, Vermont. You know, our motto is not me, us, and that is indicative of the fact that this is a movement. This isn't just a campaign. Bernie says all the time, it's not just about him. It's not just about winning the presidency. It is about transforming this country. And this movement started right here. I've had the pleasure to go all over the country, and honestly, we were young, long time ago when he won, and you all educated us as to how to listen, how to work with the communities, of various communities across the state, whether it's the farmers or the activists or every group that we have. You taught me, at least, that being a community organizer was more important than being a politician. We have so enjoyed being part of the Vermont community, and we've brought that everywhere that we've gone. Just in the last week, I've been to Tennessee, Oklahoma, Minnesota, Utah, California, and I don't know where else. And then Bernie had been to 7 other states in the last week. So we've been going all over this country, bringing your common sense to the rest of the country and meeting people just like you, people who have a vision for the future of America, for it to be what we want it to become, a more inclusive society, a more tolerant society, a more loving, compassionate society. Thank you. But really, honestly, we learned it all here in Vermont. We're thrilled to be celebrating here with you tonight. We have a number of wins under our belts already. And there's a number more to come. But, you know, Bernie talks policy all the time. He talks about ideas and vision for the future. He's an inspirational leader. But I want to tell you what I think Vermonters already know. He is a caring, compassionate man and a fantastic, I want to take this opportunity among my close friends to say that I appreciate him so much as a partner in life, as a father to our children, as a grandfather to our grandchildren, and an inspiration to me. So anyway, I just wanted to come out and say hi and tell you how glad I am to be home. And Bernie will be out soon, okay? Just want to, I know he has a few things that he's dealing with, but like 14 states, but he'll be here shortly. And thank you again so much from the bottom of our hearts. Bye-bye.
Gentlemen, the next President of the United States, Bernie Sanders.
Thank you, Vermont! You know, it's a funny thing. 31 years ago today, we won the mayoral race in Burlington, Vermont. And we won that race against all of the odds. Everybody said it couldn't be done. And when we began this race for the presidency, everybody said it couldn't be done. But tonight, I tell you with absolute confidence, we are going to win the Democratic nomination. And we are going to defeat the most dangerous president in the history of this country. We are going to win. We are going to defeat Trump because we are putting together an unprecedented grassroots multi-generational, multiracial movement. It is a movement which speaks to the working families of this country who are sick and tired of working longer hours for low wages and seeing all new income and wealth going to the top 1%. It is a movement which says the United States will have health care for all as a human right. It is a movement that says we will bring major reforms in education, making sure that all of our kids can go to college without coming out in debt. Now, what makes this movement unique is we are taking on the corporate establishment. We are taking on the greed of Wall Street, the greed of the drug companies who charge us the highest prices in the world, the greed of the insurance companies, and given the existential crisis of climate change, we are saying to the fossil fuel industry, their short-term profits are not more important than the future of our country and the world. But we are not only taking on the corporate establishment, we're taking on the political establishment. But we're going to win because the people understand it is our campaign, our movement, which is best positioned to defeat Trump. You cannot beat Trump with the same old kind of politics. What we need is a new politics that brings working class people into our political movement, which brings young people into our political movement, and which in November will create the highest voter turnout in American political history. So we're going to beat Trump because this will become a contrast in ideas. One of us in this race led the opposition to the war in Iraq. You're looking at him. Another candidate voted for the war in Iraq. One of us has spent his entire life fighting against cuts in Social Security, wanting to expand Social Security. Another candidate has been on the floor of the Senate calling for cuts to Social Security, Medicare, Medicaid, and Veterans programs. One of us led the opposition to disastrous trade agreements which cost us millions of good-paying jobs. And that's me. And another candidate voted for disastrous trade agreements. One of us stood up for consumers and said we will not support a disastrous bankruptcy bill. And another candidate represented the credit card companies and voted for that disastrous bill. So here we are. We have two major goals in front of us, and they are directly related. First, we must beat a president who apparently has never read the Constitution of the United States. A president who thinks we should be an autocracy, not a democracy. But second of all, we need a movement and are developing a movement of black, white, Latino, Native American, Asian American, gay and straight. Of people who are making it clear every day they will not tolerate the grotesque level of income and wealth inequality we are experiencing. We will not give tax breaks to billionaires when 500,000 Americans sleep out on the streets. We will not allow 49% of all new income to go to the 1% when half of our people are living paycheck to paycheck. Now, I don't know what's going to happen later tonight. We're doing well in Texas right now. We won Colorado. And I'm cautiously optimistic that later in the evening, we can win the largest state in this country, the state of California. But no matter what happens, if this campaign, and I don't know what will happen, but if it comes out to be a campaign in which we have one candidate who is standing up for the working class and the middle class, we're going to win that election. And if we have another candidate who has received contributions from at least 60 billionaires, we're going to win that election. And if there is another candidate in the race who is spending hundreds and hundreds of millions of dollars, we're going to tell him, in America, you cannot buy elections. So I am excited about where we are. We have come a long, long way. And I want to, once again, thank the great state of Vermont and all of the people in the state. Not only for the victory you gave our movement tonight, but for the years and years of love and support you have given me and my family. So Vermont, from the bottom of our hearts, thank you all very much. Let's go on to the White House. Thank you.